Good morning. I know it's Friday, but we have to get some stuff moving forward because we literally only have like a week left to review, and obviously we're online. So we are going to do a little bit of notes today, and we're going to start with this guy. We are going to start with Bandura, and we're going to look at social cognitive theory. So the idea with social cognitive, when looking at personality, is it basically says, like it says, we're emphasizing conscious awareness and beliefs, expectations, and goals. So with Freud, it's all about unconscious and conflict and sexual conflict and what have you. With Bandura and with social cognitive, it is conscious awareness that determines our personality. So we make conscious decisions to be happy or intuitive or into whatever we're into. So this is the big difference, conscious. Okay. So they believe that behavior is influenced by the interaction between people's traits. So people around you, and the traits that they possess are going to influence your personality. Okay, it really hits on this whole idea of behaviorism. Okay, you may use that's not right. But a child may learn to supposed to be follow others rather than be independent, causing a timid personality. Okay, so being around people and seeing their personalities they're going to change your personalities. They're going to change your traits in some way, shape, or form. So, for example, like my sister and my mother, are relatively talkative. So, when we would go places, they would just talk, and I would just kind of hang out. Okay, so growing up, I was one of those people that were relatively shy. That's what social cognitive theorists would say. Well, that's why, because you're looking at these other traits that people have, and it's forcing you consciously to kind of step back and not be as outgoing. Okay, so that's what social cognitive theorists would tell you. So they believe in this is a vocab word right here. It's called reciprocal determinism, and they think that behavior is determined by environment, person, and that ultimately makes your behavior. Okay, and they're all kind of interchangeable. So the environment plays a role, the person themselves changes a role, and the behavior changes a role in determining who that person is as far as a personality is concerned. So with the environment, like it says, stimuli from social or physical environment, reinforcement contingencies. The person itself is all about personality characteristics, cognitive processes, so how they think, and then self-regulation skills. And then behavior is nurture, the frequency of the behavior, and the intensity of the behavior. So all of these things lead to what is called reciprocal determinism and making you the person you are as far as personality is concerned. So once again, this is a vocab word you're probably going to want to know. Is the idea that, once again, behavior, environment, cognitive factors all determine personalities. Okay. And they're all, like it says, two-way streets. They go back and forth, okay? And they all have a key role and an important role. So different people are going to choose different environments. Some are going to go to certain schools, and it's going to make them have different personality traits. So, for example, going to Reese, Michigan is obviously going to give you certain traits that going to Bay City Central would not, or Detroit Public, or a school in the UP, okay, or Detroit Country Day. They're all going to end up with different traits from those particular environments. TV is the same way, depending on what types of shows you watch and the programming that you watch. If you see somebody act a certain way, it's going to cause you to act a certain way, and vice versa. Okay, or not vice versa, but depending on what shows you're watching. So, number two, our personalities shape how we interpret and react to certain events. So something happens around you, and you are a person that is happy and outgoing and empathic and into whatever you're into, and you see something take place, you're going to handle that differently than someone that is introvert, kind of lets things happen, agitated, whatever. Okay, your personality is going to interpret how you react. And then our personalities also help create situations to where we react. So all of these things are working to make us function, working to, make our personalities what our personalities actually are. Okay. So for example, if you're in your friends group and somebody is talking to you guys and the entire friends group decides not to care, you're probably not going to care, okay? Even though that might not be your personality, that might be something that you do. It's a conscious decision that you're making. Okay, so the theory itself is based off of, well, we are constantly observing others and how they act. We are in control of everything, both internal and external. This is actually called locus of control. And to be honest with you, we do have self-efficacy, okay? The whole idea of, once again, social cognition is to look at these three things, okay? And these three things are what are going to shape our personality, okay? Some of us are all about optimism. Some of us are all about pessimism, okay? These three things and who we're observing and how we're doing it, what we feel like we're in control of versus what we're not in control of, and how we push to accomplish our goals are going to dictate how our personalities work and what we actually believe in and how we function every single day. So another name you need to know that with Bandura is this guy, Walter Mischel, and he came up with this idea called situationalism. Or situationism, sorry. And basically the idea behind it is that all of these things are going to, once again, dictate how we function. It's called CAPS theory, Cognitive Affective Processing System, okay? So we as a person we always have what is called cognitive emotional units, okay? So like, we develop our values. We have our own goals. We have these life experiences that are dictating who we are. And they force us to, well, actively care. So they determine our self-esteem, our self-efficacy, our emotional control. And all of these things are working hand in hand with behaviors, okay, consequences, situations, and they make us function the way that we actually function, okay? So that's what CAPS theory is. So it's how people behave in certain situations. So once again, if I take your class and put you into an adverse situation, how is that going to affect you? Well, it's a new environment, so it's going to change the way that you actually function. Or if I take, I don't know, people from your class, so let's say I take Bradley out of your class and put him in a freshman class, is he going to function the same way or not? Or is he going to develop different features, different personality traits? Walter Mischel would say, yeah, he's going to. He's gonna do what he needs to in that particular group. He's gonna have different traits that take place. So once again, it's a conscious thing. It's not unconscious like Freud would say. So that's what social cognitive theorists are all about. So as far as next week, this is the last thing we're going to get to is RAS theory. We're going to look a little bit at, well, sensitivity theory, neurotransmitters and the role that they actually have, a little bit of personality assessment, and that is it for personality, and that is it for PowerPoints for the rest of the year.